Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to make a video discussing my thoughts on the full fighter pass for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And just kind of get my thoughts out there, maybe talk about all the negativity towards Byleth, and just my thoughts on the whole situation. So overall, I think the fighter pass was very good. All the characters were top-notch, well made, and it catered to different audiences. I guess we all knew it was coming because they announced it, pretty early on. But the initial Joker reveal was pretty exciting, which really set the mood for what the Fighter Pass would bring. Really off-the-wall characters. The first reveal came out of nowhere, which was very genuine. You look back on the reactions, and it's really, something to get excited about. Everyone else later on was slightly spoiled, like just before the event. We had spoilers like a day before, like a direct would happen, and then it would kind of like lose the hype because we were like, okay, well, we're not sure who it's gonna be, but we're also a little bit spoiled. So it kind of ruined the next three fighters, kind of like the anticipation for each character. And then this last fighter had a lot of hype around him, because he pretty much was unknown, So before I guess I put my thoughts, it's definitely apparent that everybody's kind of disappointed. Maybe not on the character itself, but the fact that maybe it's like a first party. I think we had really high expectations, and it's not like Byleth is actually a really cool character, because we knew, and we even joked about, like, there's gonna be a new Fire Emblem character eventually. If not in this pass, it was definitely gonna be in the next pass, especially because Fire Emblem came out so recently. But I don't know, as a fifth fighter, I think I can definitely agree that it's kind of like we were hoping for more, but at the same time, the way I look at it is not exactly like save the best for last, but like here's our final character. Like, would you guys prefer maybe like to have gotten Byleth first and then get, for example, Banjo last, or are you happy that you got Banjo like during the middle, and then it's like okay, here's all the good stuff. Now we can finally just give you a Fire Emblem character. I guess people are always excited about like save the best for last, which I guess Byleth might have had a better reaction if you, for example, switch him with Banjo. I think Banjo is the best one to switch, because Banjo might have been a good announcement for E3, but at the same time, he wasn't really relevant. He hasn't made a game in like 15 years. So I feel like, because I think Fire Emblem came out just before E3, if I'm not mistaken, I think it would have been good to like promote the game with Byleth. Like, I think that would have been a smart play, because Hero was made exactly for that reason, in a way. Definitely fan service, but also to promote the game. And I feel like Banjo as the last character might have definitely, he had the biggest hype, because he has a lot of fans. Although, like I said in my previous video, in my case, I'm not a fan of Banjo. The way people reacted towards Byleth is the way I reacted towards Banjo. I was extremely disappointed when Banjo got announced, because it's like, no one has talked about this character. I mean, like in wish list, sure, but like I said, he hasn't been relevant. And I guess he's a gaming icon to a point where he's a classic character. But like, for example, I didn't grow up with Banjo. I would have preferred, like, if I would have had my pick, I think I played more Crash than Banjo, so I would have preferred Crash, for example. But and I know a lot of people would have as well, but again, like, I didn't play Banjo, so like I wasn't excited about him. But it's not like just because I didn't play the character when I was younger is the reason I'm not excited. Because, for example, I've never played like any of the Fatal Fury games, for example, right, where Terry came from, and I was still excited about Terry. Same for Dragon Quest, and even Persona at the time. I've never really got into Persona. I think I was recently getting into Persona because I was watching a Let's Player play the game, and then he got announced for Smash. I was like, okay, well, let me go ahead and dive deep into Persona. I mean, I'm excited about the new Scramble game coming out. I'm definitely gonna buy Persona 5 when I get a PlayStation, for example. I mean, all this stuff. But, like, you know, I think people are kind of really negative towards it. Like, you know, when you look at the character, he's well made. I'm super excited to play as them. You know, they have a unique moveset. Sure, they're from Fire Emblem, but my point is, like, Nintendo only has, like, a set amount of characters that, like, or franchises that put out new characters. You know, we have a lot of Mario representation, but it's the same old characters. I think the only new character is probably Rosalina, right? And then Pokemon, it's kind of like, doesn't count because it's like they have so many Pokemon, they can literally fill up a whole game, right? So at the end, you know, for their big franchises, Fire Emblem is the one who is bringing out new characters, so there's always new options to add to Smash. I would have maybe preferred Edelgard, but then, for example, what about the Claude fans, or, you know, the other Lord? Like, so, you know, if one got chosen over the other, people would have gotten mad. So I think Byleth is like the perfect balance, especially because she can use all their relics, so it works out. But I don't know, the way I look at it is, you know, it's we got all the good characters first, and now we're gonna get, you know, the final one, which I don't want to say it's like the weakest, because like I said, for me, the weakest was Banjo. Like, if they would have replaced Banjo with Sora, now that would have been a lot better. Like, because like I said, like, Banjo's irrelevant. Like, I don't know if he's popular now. If, man, he was popular before, but now, like, I don't even know if there's any new games coming out. But for example, you know, Sora has the DLC coming out. You know, Fire Emblem is pretty recent and has a lot of good sales. And then I guess Terry's the only one who is also irrelevant. But other than that, I think it's just everybody's kind of expectations of who the character was going to be. You know, it was pretty high. I mean, the biggest rumor was Dante from Devil May Cry. And even that one, I would have personally been disappointed. Because to me, I mean, I know he's not really like Bayonetta, but he would be a Bayonetta clone. He'd be a male Bayonetta. I already have that in the game, so like, why would I pay for a character I already have in the game? But then again, that could be said for Byleth, because he's another Fire Emblem. So overall, I think if we, like, you know, maybe gotten Master Chief or something crazy, it would have been, you know, a good way to end it. But I mean, we have 6 other fighters coming, so I don't want to be like, you know, just, okay, well, save it for the next DLC, because we only have 6, right? So my original speculation is still out there. You know, that means out of the 6, you know, we're gonna get Sora, Akira, Shantae, and I've been really getting a lot of love for ARMS. Like, a lot of people have been like, you know, we could have gotten like Twintel or Min Min, because ARMS is a staple of the Switch, you know what I mean? Like, they were one of the first games that came out. It did pretty well. It didn't like get a lot of, you know, momentum, because really it's another like Smash Bros, where the content is an online gameplay, no story mode, you know? Because I only played party matches, and ranked battles, hardly everyone ever joined. So, you know, if that game ever gets a sequel or an update, if they ever, you know, decide to do something else, I think it's a really, you know, good way to kind of like build up this franchise. I mean, that's what Splatoon did, you know. Because we got Inklings, so why don't we have like an ARMS character? I mean, I know Little Mac used to be an assist trophy and now he's a fighter, but I still think that Springman is a little like vanilla, so we can keep him as an assist trophy as representation. But then, you know, the 2 big characters are Min Min and Twintel. And I mean, when ARMS had their like tournament for who the people like the most, I think at the end it was Twintel versus Min Min. I think Min Min won, and I personally love Min Min, but I like both characters because, I don't know, there's so many great characters in ARMS. I don't know what the gimmick would be if you add one of them. Maybe like long reach, but I feel like every character they add just gets longer and longer reach. But overall, I mean, I've talked about both what I think. Again, I think people are being a little too harsh. Back when Banjo was revealed, I wasn't doing these talks. So to me, I would have been like, what, who the fuck is this? Like, are you kidding me? We can have Sora. Like, who asked for this? Who asked for Banjo? Like, maybe like, anyone who asked for Banjo is probably like an older player. He's someone who grew up on the original Xbox or even on the 64. Like, because for me, I started with PlayStation, which is why I would have preferred, Crash, for example. Another option would have been Spyro if you're gonna go with the original, like, big 3 platformer. But other than that, I mean, I guess again, it's catering to different people. So, for example, during that direct, I was more excited about Hero than I was about Banjo. So I guess in the end, it all comes down to preference, right? Who do you like better? Who you grew up with? I mean, because I keep asking for Sora, but there's maybe there's people who maybe don't play Kingdom Hearts and don't want Sora, and are fans of Devil May Cry and would like Dante. But again, we have 6 more characters coming, so literally both of them can come in. I mean, not only would the character be crazy, but the music that comes with them, it's definitely a lot to look forward to in the coming year. I mean, I think the DLC is going to be spread out until December of 2021. That's almost 2 years, right? It's this whole year, so we'll get, like, if there's 6 characters, let's say we get 3, right? And then next year we get 3, which I guess could be spaced out pretty evenly to, like, make the game even longer. Like, let's say the first character gets announced in the first direct, right, this year. Then the second character gets announced at E3, and then the last character will be, at the following direct this year. And then the same thing can happen in 2021. You got a good momentum. If anything, maybe you can announce, it would be the opposite. So the first character is on a direct, the second character is on E3, and then the third character is at the Game Awards, right? That would be the perfect way to kind of, like, announce these characters and space them out, and bring hype to those events, like, E3 and the Game Awards, because I feel like people are losing interest in, like, those type of gaming shows now. Really, it's just, we could put out news at any moment. Like, Sakurai literally just announced this out of the blue, and we all, made an event out of it. So, I mean, overall summary, I think people are being a little too harsh. This is with every character. I guess definitely the majority are upset, but it's not like it's a terrible character, because I don't know, a lot of the other characters wouldn't fit. Again, like Dante, I'd say he doesn't fit, but we have Bayonetta, which again is a lot very similar. It all comes down to perspective and personal opinion, because really everybody has different taste in games. Like, I even heard, if Capcom had a representative, it'd be a Resident Evil character. And I'm like, well, I don't know how that would work, but he'd be kind of like, just like any other. He'd be like Snake, right? He'd have all the weapons. He could be, using different projectiles, different, close combat moves. But it'd be hard to pick. Like, would you go with Leon? Would you go with Jill? Which model? Would it be to advertise an upcoming game? Would it be just to celebrate? Stuff like that. Because really, that's what people might be, like, forgetting about. This is a Nintendo celebration, and you have third-party characters coming along. But as Nintendo Switch keeps going and there's more games added, there's new characters. Like I said, I think if they want to celebrate how well Nintendo has been doing, well, they would advertise the Nintendo games. So, for example, I think right now, well, we got representation for Fire Emblem, which is a game that's been doing really well. Another one would be, Astral Chain, would be ARMS, like I said. If they wanted to add anything from, like, Mario, I don't know if, like, Pauline can be a fighter. Zelda has a lot of people they can add. Maybe even from those franchises, you can add characters. Sonic, we still want Shadow, other characters. You got, like, each fighter can have someone added. I mean, for Zelda, we have so many. But, like, the best two would either be Impa from Hyrule Warriors, because she looks really good there, or maybe like Toon Zelda, because we have Toon Link. You know, Pokemon, they have enough characters. Maybe we can add the Octolings. That's another thing. Maybe they could also spread out Echo Fighters. Echo Fighters for $3 instead of $5. You know, we have Palutena. We could do, you know, characters for Kid Icarus, because I feel like that game needs more representation. You can, you know, you could do Medusa. You could do, like I said, Shadow. You could do maybe Guigi. You know, like every character, like I said, can have an Echo, and you could potentially either make Echo Fighters, maybe even make skins for characters. And the whole Mii costume thing they're doing is perfect. So I think, you know, it's a lot to look forward to. Hopefully the rest of the year turns out, you know, pretty great. I'm looking forward to whatever character gets added. And stay tuned for Byleth coming up. I'm probably going to do a showcase as well as a classic mode run. So that'll be out on the 28th. And I'll also do an episode on the 29th. So yeah, 2 episodes back to back. Showcasing Byleth and doing the classic mode run. So other than that, you know, I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know if you agree with me, disagree with me. You know, is Byleth a good character for you, a bad character? Either way, I'd love to hear your thoughts. So thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you liked it. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. I got more content coming up, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.